have made myself perfectly clear, Miss Carlson. I do not tolerate laziness on the job. You must have all of the beds made neatly by noon, the rooms thoroughly cleaned by 4 o'clock, and the dining table set impeccably by 5:30 so that dinner can be served precisely at 6. Do I need to explain this yet again?
No, ma'am. I think I finally understand.
Good. Here at Wilcox's Eastern Shore Bed and Breakfast, we keep our guests well accommodated. And that means sticking to our schedules. I certainly hope you're prepared for the demands of keeping this establishment in pristine condition.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be trying my hardest to keep up, ma'am.
I hope you will. Now, do you remember how to greet the guests?
I think so. Welcome to the Wilcox Eastern Shore Bed and Breakfast. The best place for a little taste of the wild, wild west on the peninsula.
Not bad. I'll be keeping my eye on you. Any indication of incompetence, and you'll be looking for employment elsewhere.
Oh dear. Yes, ma'am.
I'd be on my toes if I were you. I have seen more young girls pass through this place than you can imagine. The old bats go through 2 or 3 maids a season.
Goes through?
You know.
She murders them? Oh dear. What have I gotten myself into, Beatrice?
No, she just gives them the axe.
Huh?
Not literally the axe. She just sends them away.
To where?
The unemployment line.
Oh dear, she fires them?
Either that or they quit. They can't handle the pressure.
Oh dear. Well, it's a good thing I've got a charming presence and a sweet face. At least that's what my trainer down at Maids R Us said to me when I graduated from their training program. Yes, she said I have what it takes to succeed in any bed and breakfast. Good service, she said, requires nothing more than a charming presence, a sweet face, and a plate piled high with pancakes. Pancakes for the guests, that is.
Well, she's obviously never stayed at this place. With all the running around we do, you'll need bandages for the blisters on your feet to go along with those pancakes. And to think, I once had a charming presence and a sweet face, too.
Oh dear. What happened?
The old bats used some of their own charm to make this face turn sour.
Come on!
That was quite a walk from the dock, wasn't it?
We must be nearly a mile inland. And the sky's getting awfully dark. I thought for sure it would start pouring rain before we made it.
Welcome to Wilcox Eastern Shore Bed and Breakfast. The best place for a little taste of the wild, wild west on the peninsula.
Hello. We're here to check in. Christine and Freddie Franklin?
Oh, Christine, it's so wonderful to see you again. Do you recognize me? No worries. See? The sweet face is gone. I'm Beatrice. Googleheimer. The cook.
Oh, Beatrice! I didn't even recognize you. How are you?
Fine, thanks. Your aunt said you'd be staying here this week.
Yes, for the Notting family reunion. Oh, and Freddie and I are on our honeymoon.
We were married just yesterday.
Is that so? Well, congratulations. Connie, dear, could you go find the aunts and let them know that Christine has arrived?
I found the ants right away.
Oh. The poor thing is gonna get eaten alive. Well, I'd better get back to the kitchen and finish preparing the afternoon check. That's a snack in Western terms. The old aunts make us talk like cow folk to the guests, and also make us wear these ridiculous hairnets and uniforms. Stupid.
This place looks great. I couldn't imagine a Western-themed bed and breakfast until I saw it with my very own eyes.
Isn't it fun? I haven't been here since I was a little girl. It will be so nice to see Aunt Gretchen and Aunt Rebecca again.
Well, a family reunion isn't exactly the most romantic way to start our honeymoon. But free is free.
Well, this isn't much of a family reunion. It's only Aunt Gretchen and Aunt Rebecca that live here. Somehow they manage this place all by themselves. The only other family members who will be here are my cousins, Rachel and Stefan. They're all that's left of the Notting family, really. At least, the parts we keep in touch with.
Howdy, partners!
Aunt Rebecca! Mwah, mwah.
Oh, little Christine. My, how you've grown. You're such a woman now.
Aunt Gretchen! Mwah, mwah. You look wonderful.
Why, thank you, dear. And this handsome young cowboy must be?
Freddie, yes.
It's such a pleasure to meet you, Aunt Gretchen and Aunt Rebecca. Christine has told me so much about you both.
All flattering, I hope.
Of course.
So, Freddie, what business are you in?
Well, I want to be a detective.
Is that so?
Yes, right now I'm the captain of the evening security shift at a shopping mall. I haven't been enrolled into police academy yet, but
He plans to apply soon. Freddie will be a big detective someday.
Yes, well, we wish you all the luck. And how was the wedding?
Lovely. It was exactly what I wanted. Just a small ceremony with Freddie, me, and a flock of white doves.
I'm lucky she even let me invite the minister. Christine wanted a small, simple wedding.
And of course, little Freddie looked adorable in his tuxedo. Made me just want to pinch his little cheeks.
How sweet.
I'm just glad we could make it out here for our honeymoon. It's so generous of you guys to let us stay here.
We really do appreciate it.
Oh, nonsense. That's what family's for. It's a honeymoon and a family reunion all rolled into one for you. Oh, speaking of family, your cousin Rachel and her husband Robert just checked in a few hours ago.
Oh, I haven't seen Rachel in years. Are those of us here for the reunion the only guests this week?
Oh, no. Wilcox's Eastern Shore Bed and Breakfast is almost fully booked for the next several months.
Well, this place looks beautiful. I haven't been here in so long, and little Freddie can't wait for his pancakes.
Yes. Well, when your uncle died, we decided to renovate the main rooms and always have a housekeeper on staff to keep things tidy. I believe you've met the new maid, Connie Carlson.
Yes, she has quite a charming presence.
And such a sweet face.
Well, yes, it is her first day on the job. She's only been here a few hours.
Not sure how much longer she's going to last.
And of course you remember Beatrice the cook.
We were just speaking. I didn't even recognize her.
Yes, well, I deserve the credit for that.
Is the secret still here?
Oh, of course.
Secret?
This old place has a secret, but we're not telling yet, are we, Aunt Rebecca? Not unless you're a good boy, Freddie.
Yes, well, we'll have to see if he can figure that out on his own. That'll be a fun little game now, won't it?
If there's one thing you learn about Aunt Gretchen and Aunt Rebecca, is that they love to play games.
We play a variety of games here in the evenings. The guests simply adore it.
And tomorrow is our weekly movie night. Oh, enough chit-chat. The two of you must be exhausted from your trip.
Let's get you two lovebirds to your room, the Hoedown Honeymoon Suite.
Freddie, hurry up. It's not that much to carry.
Are you kidding me? Seriously, guys, wait up. Oh, jeez.
Watch out for him. Lord.
Who was that? That sweet old Gretchen can't be the same nasty woman who hired me.
Trust me, that's her all right. I have been working here for nearly 20 years, and Gretchen always treats the guests like cream and the staff like mud pies.
Oh dear.
You'll get used to it.
What on earth is that?
Well, it's past Halloween, so he's either finally here to save us from the evil Gretchen, or someone has escaped from the loony bin.
Welcome to the Wilcox Eastern Shore Bed and Breakfast, the best place for a little taste of the wild, wild west on the peninsula. Can I help you, sir?
I have a reservation.
Name?
The Night Crusader.
Oh dear, there's no one listed under that name.
You had better find the aunts and let them know. I have to get back to the kitchen. Stupid.
Miss Carlson, what are you doing leaving a guest at the check-in desk?
I was just about to look for you both, ma'am. I can't find this gentleman's name in the registry book.
You're not off to a very good start. How hard is it to find someone's name and show him to his room?
Sorry, ma'am.
Well, sir, what can I do for you?
Reservation for the Night Crusader.
Let me see here. No, I don't see a Mr. Crusader here. When did you make the reservation?
About a month ago.
The only guests I'm waiting on are for a Mr. Camp and a Mr. Steele.
Oh, that's me, Steel. A month ago, I was going by the name Steel, Warrior of Steel.
I see. How nice. You have multiple personalities. They always say 2 is better than 1. Miss Carlson, could you show Mr. Night Crusader to his room, please? The Wyoming room.
Yes, ma'am.
There is no way I'm gonna suffer through the agony of rooming next to the 2 of you. We'll just see what the Wilcoxes say about this.
Go ahead and state your complaint.
Miss Wilcox, I must converse with you right away.
Well, ladies, what is it?
I cannot room next to these 2 barbarians. I refuse to be neighbor to anyone who hunts animals.
Would you prefer we hunt humans? I could think of a Yankee I'd like to see hanging above my mantle.
You disgust me. You just disgust me.
And you disgust me too.
Now, Miss Matthews, we go through this every year. You know I can't stop the guests from hunting.
Yeah, we got as much right to hunt as you got to twirl those little needles back and forth. Hunting's why we came here. We got a tip that the best muskrats in any territory of the good old US of A are found on this here peninsula. Didn't we, Carla Jo?
That's right, Rhonda May. There ain't nothing like hunting. Muskrat.
Well, of course. The peninsula is home to many of nature's most muskrats, you say? Here? On the peninsula?
Pretty darn shocking the muskrat populations haven't been controlled yet, ain't it?
But this is a tropical peninsula. You're never gonna find any.
I know you must be worried about all them breeding and the multiplying, but don't get too upset, ma'am. We'll take care of this problem in no time.
And get some good muskrat meat in the meantime. We'd be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Or 2 muskrats, for that matter. As long as there's some killing involved, I'll be happy.
Ooh. But Miss Wilcox, I come here every year to clear my mind, relax, and knit. If I have to subject myself to these 2 barbarians, I might just go a little crazy.
And what?
I don't know, but I can assure you it won't be good for you or your sister.
Now, Miss Matthews, why don't you come over here and sit down and while you knit, just have a nice glass of tea. It's iced.
Maybe it'll help cool your hot Yankee temper.
And ladies, why don't you let me store your rifle in our locking cabinet? Miss Matthews might be able to knit more easily knowing that the firearm is locked up.
Thank you.
All right. We wouldn't want to do anything to get Miss Matthews upset now, would we?
There ain't nothing worse than a Yankee blowing her top.
And who knows? Maybe if we give her a chance, she could knit herself some clothes that fit.
Excuse me, but I do believe I have the right to dress as I please. There's nothing wrong with making yourself look attractive. I am a former Las Vegas showgirl after all.
Yes, Miss Matthews retired from dancing to become a professional knitter. She's now the nation's current knitting champion.
I can knit 1 pro 2 faster than anyone in the country.
And she's also president of the Animal Rights Organization. Mammals, amphibians, and reptiles, oh my! Well, with all of those interests, the three of you should be able to find something to talk about over a glass of iced tea.
I doubt it, Miss Wilcox.
Well, why don't you give it a try? And if you want to go hunting, just grab one of us and we'll fetch your rifle from the cabinet.
And Rebecca, Christine wants to know if you have any extra towels. That's it.
Oh, certainly. I can get Miss Carlson to fetch you some.
Say, who is this cutie?
Hi.
My name is Freddie. Freddie Franklin. And you are?
Oh, little me. Lola Matthews, national knitting champion, former Las Vegas showgirl, originally from Japan and the Philippines. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
And I'm Christine, his wife.
Oh, pleased to meet your acquaintance as well.
Say, you're a knitting champion?
Yes,
Honey, she's practically a celebrity. Can I get your autograph?
of course.
Yes. Well, it was nice meeting you. Freddie and I need to return to our room now, don't we, baby cakes?
Yeah. Excuse us.
Oops. I dropped your pen, Mr. Franklin.
Thank you. Call me Freddie.
If you insist, Freddie.
Freddie, I said now. What did I tell you about talking to strangers?
But she's not. Jeez.
What's her problem?
I wonder.
You sure have a way of making enemies, don't you?
I don't have to stand here and listen to the two of you berate me. I'm gonna go back in my room to knit in peace and quiet. Don't like those two.
That's one Yankee girl with no class.
This is the last time I'm going to tell you to leave extra towels in the guest room, Miss Carlson.
But Mrs. Wilcox, this is the first time you've told me.
Don't get fresh with me unless you're in the mood to find a new place to earn a paycheck.
Oh dear.
Miss Wilcox.
Ladies, I didn't realize you were still out here. Go along, Miss Carlson, and take your time. Now, how are you enjoying the iced tea?
It's delicious. And about our rifle?
Oh, it's as safe as can be. You wouldn't want to go hunting now anyway. It looks like that tropical storm's about to hit.
All right then. Just call us when it's time for supper.
Checking in.
Oh, you must be Mr. Neil Camp.
That would be me.
And you guys are?
Oh, They are a small mime troupe that I manage. We're just passing through the area on the way to our next gig. This is Minnie. That's Molly. Molly here is the one who suggested a short stay at this place. This is Millie. And that's Mandy.
Well, I'm sure mimes will keep the mood here calm and quiet. Now, are you sure you want 3 separate guest rooms? I have a family room that would be spacious enough for all 5 of you.
Listen, lady. We each need our own room. I drive these kids from show to show, wash their costumes, and take 15% of their salaries. I don't room with them.
We see.
I think I would go crazy if I had to be cooped up in a room with a bunch of mimes. Yes, just like that. I sure know how to find talent, no?
Yes. Your rooms are ready and waiting for you. Miss Carlson will show you.
Thanks. Come on, kids.
Oh, Mr. March, I'm glad you've come out of your room. Beatrice just put out the afternoon chuck. I hope you like saddle biscuits.
Precisely at 3 o'clock, just like your brochure says.
Yes, we pride ourselves on being on time. I hope you will mention the promptness of service at Wilcox's Eastern Shore Bed and Breakfast in your hotel review.
Yes, well, the brochure indicates that the snack is edible. Talk about an overcooked biscuit. I nearly broke a tooth on this thing.
Oh, what a shame.
I won't make mention of it in my review, though.
Oh, good.
I won't have time to bring up the snacks once I've discussed the small room, the lumpy bed, and the view from my window of the large trash bin.
Oh, my, well,
Oh, dear. I'll send in Miss Carlson to see if she can spruce things up a little for you.
Oh, the afternoon chuck is out.
I am starving, darling.
Hello, dears. Did you rest well?
Yes, the chance to lie down was just what I needed after that long flight.
Oh, these biscuits are delicious, Aunt Gretchen.
Simply heavenly.
Why, thank you. I'll be sure to let Beatrice know you enjoyed them. Christine just arrived a few minutes ago.
I am anxious to see her. I hear she was just married.
Yes, her husband is a cute fella.
Oh.
Let me go see if I can find them.
Oh, please do.
I'll be right back, Mr. March.
How do you do?
You look familiar.
Oh, well, perhaps you've seen us perform.
We are stars of the stage.
We've appeared in over 45 regional theatrical productions.
And always together.
Not to mention we are husband and wife.
We are partners on the stage and in life, aren't we, darling?
Oh, yes.
Yes, I remember you. Stefan and Suzanne Livingston. I saw you together in The Elms of Passion.
One of my finest roles.
And mine as well.
Well, I should hope not. I believe I referred to your performance as trite and overstated, and yours as self-indulgent.
Huh?
Wait.
Awful.
Did Aunt Gretchen call you Mr. March, as in Joel March?
Yes.
The nastiest theater critic on the West Coast.
Correction, the former nastiest theater critic on the West Coast. I am currently the nastiest hotel critic on the East Coast.
I remember hearing you no longer write for Theater Monthly.
I now write for Hotel Weekly.
What happened? Readers couldn't handle your bitterness, or was it your jealousy?
I take pride in the bitterness, but jealousy? Of what?
I can only assume that anyone who writes with such contempt for actors is jealous of their artistic talents.
Trust me, my little friend, I consider myself lucky never to have been mixed up with you and your group of overcomplicated, undereducated bohemians. Where did you even learn that nonsense you refer to as art?
We both attended Juilliard for a time.
Oh, Juilliard?
That's right.
Never heard of it.
Stefan.
I'm not just gonna stand here and put up with it.
Remember, darling, save this emotion for the stage. Practice your breathing exercises.
Oh, someone. Oh, that man. Oh.
Okay.
Stefan!
Oh, Christine. Mwah, mwah.
Suzanne!
You look wonderful.
Thank you. Mwah, mwah.
Oh,
This is my husband, Freddie.
a pleasure.
It's so nice to meet you.
And this is my wife, Suzanne.
Wonderful to make your acquaintance, darling.
I've been showing Freddie around the bed and breakfast.
Have you told him about the secret yet?
Okay, what is the secret everyone keeps talking about?
I'll give you a little hinty hint, sweetie. It's found right here in this room.
This room?
Do you notice anything that looks out of the ordinary?
Not really, but I'm not the most perceptive person.
I know, sweetheart, but you try. Remember, you were perceptive enough to notice that you wanted to marry me.
Oh, young man.
Is that little cousin Christine in that man's arms?
Rachel, look at you. It's been years. Mwah.
Hello, Stefan.
Mwah, mwah.
Suzanne.
Oh, it looks like the family reunion has officially begun. Suzanne and I will get us all some tea.
I don't believe you've ever had the chance to meet my husband, Dr. Robert Shanklin.
Nice to meet you. And this is my husband, Freddie Franklin.
Wait. Let me guess. Polish. No. With those eyes and cheekbones, you must be Russian.
Yes, Russian would be my first guess as well.
My family's Ukrainian, actually.
Darn it, I was so close. But they must be from Eastern Ukraine. Am I correct?
And why do you know that?
Rachel and Robert are anthropologists, specializing in human origins. They travel across the world digging up human remains in remote villages.
How morbid.
Oh, hello, I didn't see you there.
Would you care to join us?
No.
Man.
He doesn't seem to be in the best mood.
Oh, don't mind him. He's just a bitter journalist.
So, Rachel, your mother was...
Ida, one of Gretchen and Rebecca's sisters.
And my mother was Agnes, also one of Gretchen's 6 sisters.
6?
Yes, we don't know what happened to the 6th sister. My mother, Geraldine, she was the baby, but she died tragically in a boating accident many years ago. Anyway, Aunt Gretchen, Aunt Rebecca, Aunt Ida, Aunt Agnes, and my mother were all inseparable when they were alive. The 3 of us practically grew up together.
That's why these family reunions are so much fun. We get to reminisce. Ever since our mothers passed away, we haven't seen much of one another. We all sort of went our separate ways.
Has anyone seen my needle?
Needle? I've heard of a needle in a haystack, but a needle at a bed and breakfast?
Oh, silly. It's not a tiny needle. It's a big needle for knitting. I put it somewhere and I can't seem to find it. Oh, ooh. Well, hello again, cutie.
Hi there.
Why don't you try looking for the needle in your room? I'm sure you'll find it there.
Oh, Thanks for the advice.
Well,
Well, Robert and I better head back to our rooms and finish unpacking. We'll do some more catching up later.
It was nice meeting you.
we should get back to our room as well.
We'll see you up at supper, darlings.
Well,
Well, what?
what do you have to say for yourself?
About what?
Your eyes look like they're about to burst out of your head whenever Miss Knitting Needles is around.
Oh, no. I only have eyes for you. Come on, you know this.
If I see you looking at her one more time, I'll scream bloody murder.
Okay, I didn't look at her. She's not even here.
That wasn't me. It sounded like Aunt Gretchen and Aunt Rebecca.
Aunt Gretchen and Aunt Rebecca are on the floor in the hallway.
What? Bring them in here.
Oh my goodness. What is going on? I don't know. Noise.
I heard you.
I was looking at my email like, what the heck happened? Oh my goodness.
Did you hear something?
Something's wrong.
I think there's something wrong with the Wilcox sisters.
Maybe.
They're all dropping like flies.
All those knives sticking out of their bags might be the problem. Maybe.
Are they unconscious?
Yeah, it's worse than that. They're dead, Jim.
All the racket.
I heard a scream.
The old ladies are, dead.
Dead?
Oh dear.
No. If only I had been there in time. If only I were quicker, more efficient. Why was this innocent blood be spilled? Whoever did this,
Oh my.
whoever is responsible for this gruesome world we live in, will pay.
Okay. Is he serious?
Those knives came from the kitchen. Someone must have taken them when I wasn't in there. The Wilcox sisters were murdered with their own knives.
Oh dear.
These notes are on the floor by their bodies.
It's written in this weird orange ink. There was an old woman named Gretchen. The thought of her kept me up retching. I took a sharp knife and ended her life, but me you will never be catching. There was an old woman named Rebecca. The thought of her made me want to wreck her. I took a sharp knife and ended her life, but me you will never... whatever.
It
Those-
sounds like someone had it in for the aunts.
Those poems are kind of catchy.
What are we gonna do with them? We can't just leave them here in the middle of the living room floor.
Well, don't they normally put bodies on ice?
We have ice in the kitchen.
Looks like it's into the deep freeze for them. At least we don't have to skin them first.
How could someone stab poor Aunt Gretchen and Aunt Rebecca? That's murder! There's been a double murder at the family reunion.
No more iced tea.
Let the reunion begin! 1997, when everyone's swimming downstream, I'm swimming up to grab the prize. You guys look great. You haven't aged a bit. And there she is, Gertrude. Remember her? You look good, girl. You look good. I love it. How are you? Oh my goodness, you have not changed a bit. You got shorter. I understand. I'm a little unsure. You look a little different. Wait, did I see her? There's the gym teacher, Miss Battery. You look so good. Are you still teaching gym? I remember you making me get on those uneven bars and just swing and swing and swing. I thought I would never stop. Unbelievable. You look good. You look really good. Oh, I just love reunions. Sally, I remember when you played Big Mama and caught in a hot tin room. Oh, I mean, you got younger. You look like a you spent enough time in prison. I am parched. What kind of party is this? There's music, there's dancing. Where is Thriller? We should all be dancing in our class reunion. Why aren't you dancing? And where's the picture of me? As Ada Annie in Oklahoma, I don't see that. I know I sent it in. Why are you looking at me funny?
I've never seen you before in my life.
Well, of course you have. I used to spend the night in the house all the time. Remember? We would use the binoculars and look at Tony Swingley right next door.
No. Are you sure you have the right establishment?
I'm sure it's early.
Oh, I know
It's okay. I'll never forget that one.
Yeah, that would be an issue.
When we snuck out?
Yeah.
Yes. I remember that. We were thinking about painting Parkside's trailer. Remember that? When it used to be the rivalry? Oh, yes. Uh-huh. You were quite the artist back then. Oh, and Jamie, you got out of jail.
Fried chicken, roast chicken, chicken parmesan, chicken fricassee, chicken marinara, and chicken pot pie. We decided to put the Wilcox sisters in the freezer, remember? So we had to take out most of the food in order to get them in there.
Oh. I can't believe this has happened.
I'm afraid my review of this place just keeps getting worse and worse. Who wants to stay at a bed and breakfast where a murderer is on the loose? That's a surefire way to ruin a vacation.
What are we going to do now?
We're not the only people on this peninsula. Is there any way we can contact somebody for help?
Well, this side of the peninsula has our bed and breakfast, a large inn, and a surf and turf restaurant. The authorities are further inland.
One of us could walk to the inn, or maybe there are people at the restaurant.
Yes, but they're both nearly a mile away, closer to the coast, where the tropical storm is even worse. I don't think it's safe to go outside in conditions like this.
We're stuck in here until the storm blows over.
You mean we're trapped here with a murderer?
Trust me, you'd be worse off out there in that weather than in here with a murderer.
Ha, this? Just a drizzle. You should have seen the monsoons I came across in my expedition in Bangladesh.
Honey, Oh dear.
Isn't she a doctor?
What is she doing?
Is this a good
She's
idea?
running out into the storm. What else do you think she's doing?
Will she be okay?
I think she might. As long as she doesn't get struck by thunder or blown away by the winds.
You're your husband. You should know why she's doing this.
You would
Has she
think.
always been
You
like
would think. Yeah.
Has she always been this impulsive?
Sometimes. You think I could control? No. I couldn't control her. No.
How was the expedition in Bangladesh?
Well, it was rainy. Lots and lots and lots and lots of rain.
Oh, dear.
Oh.
Did it go well?
Maybe this is a little worse.
I have tried every phone in this place and I can't even get a dial tone.
And you know that there is no cell service on the peninsula.
What are we going to do now?
Well, you look like some kind of witch doctor. Can't you do a rain dance?
I believe you are referring to the rain dances of the Cherokee tribes or other indigenous North Americans. Rain dances are traditionally performed when rain is desired. It is clearly already raining. We want it to stop.
And there's no rain stopping dance?
Not that I know of.
Freddie, this is your chance
My chance? For what?
to try to solve your first murder case.
I'm not even enrolled into the police academy yet.
Well, it's never too soon to start practicing playing detective. Oh, sweetie, I am so excited for you.
But I wouldn't even know where to begin.
Just use the skills you've learned in mall security.
But I just...
If you do a good job, you might get a gold star. If you do an extra good job, you may even get a lollipop.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Wait, I know you. Do I get to pick a flavor?
This guy is going to figure out who murdered the Wilcox sisters. He's a 9-year-old trapped in a 30-year-old's body.
At least let him try.
Yes, what do we have to lose? We won't have any contact with the police until this storm is over.
I know he can do it. I know you can, Angel Pie.
All right. Start detecting.
This is so exciting. A real life murder mystery.
Oh, Connie and Beatrice, why don't you have a seat?
We're not allowed to sit on the job.
You won't be fired. Your bosses are dead.
He does have a point.
I guess the first thing I should do is try to figure out how Aunt Gretchen and Aunt Rebecca were murdered.
I think the knives in their backs might have had something to do with it.
Good point. I suppose it's safe to surmise that Aunt Gretchen and Aunt Rebecca were stabbed to death.
You think?
Bravo! Oh, my little love bug, you're doing such a wonderful job so far. I'm so proud.
You're a fool. You've just established the obvious. I'm going back to my room. Let me know when you've solved the murder case.
That man seems to be in a permanent bad mood. It's a wonder nobody strangles him.
Dear, it's not a good idea to talk like that, especially considering the circumstances.
I suppose my comment was in poor taste.
Now what?
I don't know.
Maybe you should try to figure out who had the opportunity to murder Aunt Gretchen and Aunt Rebecca. Who had access to the hallway?
Okay. Well, who did have access to the hallway?
I suppose only the guests that were in their rooms.
Not necessarily. The kitchen has an entrance into the dining room, and that leads into the hallway. You can get anywhere in this place from that hallway.
So anyone could have had access to the hallway.
So, Freddy, who do you think is the murderer?
I don't know. I'm new at this. Give me a minute.
Hold it!
Well, howdy, folks.
We figured we'd mosey on out here and warm up.
It's cold in that freezer, and there's nothing to do. Not that it appears anyone's doing anything worthwhile out here. Connie, I thought I told you sitting on the job was not allowed. And Beatrice, you should know better.
You know, I don't think they can see us or hear us.
Well, we kind of have been murdered.
So, what are these folks talking about? Anyone? How we were murdered. Oh. I don't have the foggiest idea of who murdered us.
We were walking from the main room into here when I was stabbed in the back.
And then I turned to see what was wrong. And before you know it, I felt a sharp pain, and then my vision went dark.
That's all we can seem to remember.
We must have been stabbed from behind.
Yes, well, let's see if Freddy over here is really ready to be a detective, shall we?
Yeah, he might just be able to figure out who murdered us.
Resume.
I still can't find my knitting needle.
Sorry, Lola. We have a bigger mystery to solve.
Oh, but I need my knitting needle. This murder has me all worked up, and the only thing that calms me is knitting. Say, Freddy, you haven't seen my needle, have you?
Remember, I don't want to see you looking at her or I'll scream.
No, I haven't seen your needle.
Oh. Well, let me know if your big, strong hands come across it, will you?
Sure thing.
Your needle will probably turn up.
I hope so. Huh. Wait a minute. What's that around your waist?
Oh, this? It's an erudito from the Lobnichi clan in South Uzbekiria. It's an apron made of skin.
Skin? As in animal skin?
Yes. Lobnichi women traditionally wear a pigskin erudito after they're married. It's similar to our custom of wearing a wedding ring.
Oh, you are an evil, cruel being.
Why?
What? Why? That skin came from an animal, a living, breathing pig.
Yes. Robert and I were married by the Lobnichi. The erudito was a wedding gift.
Oh, tell me not another word. I cannot bear to hear it. If you want to wear something around your waist, I suggest you try knitting yourself a belt. No animals are harmed from knitting. If you ask me, you're no different than whoever murdered the Wilcox sisters.
But only a pig was killed for Rachel's apron, not a person.
It's no different. Maybe someday you'll know how it feels to have your skin and flesh peeled from your dead bones too. Oh, no, animal skin. Oh.
She seems to be in a bad mood as well.
Yes, well, speaking of your skin and flesh being peeled from dead bones, I should get back to the kitchen and start preparing the chicken for dinner. It's almost 6 o'clock and I haven't even started cooking yet. Stupid.
You know, poor Beatrice seems to be falling a little behind with all the commotion.
Well, it figures. I'm only gone a few hours, and already the whole place is running to shambles.
Come on, Rachel. let's go back to our room. I've had enough about this discussion about murder.
I could sure stand a kickback for a while myself.
We should get back to our room, too. A nice nap before supper could certainly do us some good. It's been a stressful day.
What? Hold it! I thought you were going to try and figure out who murdered us.
Well, if you all are going to rest, then so are we. Come on, Rebecca. Back to the freezer we go.
Resume.
You haven't seen my husband, have you, darling?
No, ma'am.
We were supposed to rehearse for an audition about 20 minutes ago, but he left the room and I haven't seen him since.
I haven't seen him in here.
Oh, you don't suppose he's gone missing, do you?
It's a possibility. Maybe he's with Lola's knitting needle.
Oh, you are too much. You have such a charming face and a sweet presence. And with wit like that, you practically have me in stitches. Have you ever thought of going into show business?
Oh no, I'm not much suited for the stage.
You should try Hollywood then. The cameras would just love your face.
I don't know. It sounds stressful to have to learn all of those lines. I tend to freeze when I'm under pressure.
Oh, there you go again. You practically have me rolling.
Connie, do you know which is the key to the cabinet?
I think it's right here on her keyring. Why?
We want our rifle back.
What on earth do you want a rifle for?
We're going hunting.
Hunting? In this terrible storm?
Of course. The rain makes all the muskrats hide in the marsh.
Marsh is practically stuffed full of them in storms like this.
Muskrats. On the peninsula, you say. And you're going outside in this terrible weather.
Of course not. You Yankees don't know the first thing about hunting. Did you hear that, sister?
I sure did, sister. Honey, we ain't going outside to hunt. We don't want to get all soggy.
I'm confused then.
We're gonna open the window, fire our rifle into the marsh, and watch the little creatures meet their doom.
Then we'll go outside and scoop up their dead little bodies when the storm stops.
What a delightful thought. I seriously don't think it's a good idea to be firing a rifle in the house.
We'll aim the rifle outside, not inside. Don't worry.
Hey, the cabinet's empty.
Where's our rifle?
I don't know, it's gone.
You're sure Mrs. Wilcox put it in there?
Saw with my own two eyes.
Yeah, my eyes too.
Somebody must have taken it out.
This is a violation of the Second Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America. Someone is tampering with my rights to bear arms.
What if whoever took your rifle is the same person who murdered the Wilcox sisters?
Then we'd have a murdering thief.
Or a thiever and murderer.
Oh dear! Lola's knitting needle is missing too. Maybe the same person stole both the needle and the rifle. And the knives that were used to murder the Wilcox sisters.
Are you saying there's a thief in the house?
There sure is, bub.
What do you call that? Get up. Anyways.
Get up?
Then they're costumes you wear.
I don't wear costumes. This is my Night Crusader uniform. Right now, I'm the Night Crusader.
What do you mean, right now? Are you other people at other times?
I'm a whole bunch of different people.
Is one of them a murderer?
Or a thief?
No, nothing of the sort. A true hero would never murder or steal from anyone. Well, anyone who isn't a villain.
Then why do you wear that, uniform?
I'm a devout follower of graphic novels.
I hear words coming out of those lips, but I don't understand what they're saying.
In other words, I like to read comic books. And I strive to live as my favorite characters.
And right now you're living as the Night Crusader?
You hit the nail on the head.
I didn't hit nothing. And don't you go accusing me of violence.
Oh dear, it's just an expression.
Well, this fellow better watch what he's expressing, because it sounded to me like an accusation.
I do believe that you were the one who accused me of being a thief, which is impossible. I am the Night Crusader. The Night Crusader does not steal. He fights injustice, successfully hides his identity, and still manages to maintain a steady relationship with the cutest chick in town.
Well, Night Crusader, maybe you could help us find the person who stole our rifle.
That's an injustice that needs fighting.
I'll do my best, ladies.
And I better get back up to my room and wait for Stefan.
Whatever you say, gal. Come on, Night Crusader. Out of my way, mommies.
Those three are in a hurry.
They're on a mission to fight injustice.
Well, we're on a mission too.
And what type of mission would that be?
A mission to fill our bellies. I've got a troop of hungry mimes here. They're hungry. And they're thirsty.
Oh dear, let me check with Beatrice. Supper should have been served already, but with all the excitement from the Wilcox sisters' murders, we're a bit behind schedule.
All right. But if supper won't be ready for a while, can we at least get another snack or something? I get awfully hungry watching these mimes pretend to eat.
I'll admit, that corn on the cob does look good.
Hello, all. I just came to see if there were any good books in here. All I've brought are my field note journals, and I can't concentrate on work right now.
I know what you mean.
What are they doing?
They must be reading.
I see. Reading anything good? I do love a good romance novel. How could you be reading a murder mystery at a time like this?
Well, maybe they think it'll help them figure out who murdered the Wilcox sisters.
A romance novel it is for me, too.
Beatrice says it'll be another half hour or so before supper is ready. I fixed some cheese and crackers to help tide you over. It's not exactly an authentic Western snack, but it's all I know how to do in the kitchen.
Thanks. Come on, kids.
Can I get you anything, Dr. Shanklin?
Oh, no thank you, dear. I'll just sit here and read until dinner.
Yes, ma'am. Let me know if you need anything.
I don't even know what I'm looking for.
Just search around.
Christine?
Oh, Rachel, you're out here.
Yes, I decided to do a little reading. I thought the two of you were going to take a nap.
We got back to our room and I decided I just couldn't rest. Not until I know who murdered Aunt Gretchen and Aunt Rebecca.
Christine wants me to look for clues.
Yes. All good detectives look for clues.
That's what I told him.
What would a clue even look like?
Well,
Rachel, are you out here?
Robert, did you hear that? It sounded like a gunshot.
Rachel?
Oh, no, that's me.
Oh, sorry.
She's right here.
Rachel?
At least she was right here.
What was that? I don't know.
Another one.
What in the world is going on? What was that
Nothing's
scream?
happening. A lot. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Lord.
Excuse me.
She's dead.
There is no need to panic, everyone. There was just a quick blackout. It must have been the storm.
We weren't panicking about the blackout. Rachel is dead.
Oh, not another murder.
Who did this? Which one of you did this? Who shot Rachel?
Oh, Carla Joy Rhonda may have a gun. I saw it.
We do not. Well, we did, but then someone stole it from the cabinet and now it's missing.
It's true, it wasn't in there when we looked.
Oh, they probably had it the whole time. They hunt muskrats, so why not hunt people?
You.
Me.
It was you.
Me.
You stop trying to shift the blame. You were threatening Rachel earlier.
Excuse me. You are... Oh, you're blaming me for something I am incapable of doing. I do not believe in hurting any living creature, including humans.
We can't just go around pointing fingers at people, accusing them of murder. Right, Freddie?
My name.
Christine is right, I guess.
I have an announcement to make. As some of you already know, Freddie will be using his detective skills to try to figure out who murdered Aunt Gretchen and Aunt Rebecca. I guess he's also going to figure out who murdered Rachel.
I am?
Hold it! I can't believe it. We go back to the freezer for a few minutes and look what happens. Another murder. Oh, poor Rachel.
Well, at least we'll have company in the freezer. These fools will never be able to figure out who murdered us. If we don't step in, half the guest list will be murdered before the night is over. Okay, guys, help us out. How was Rachel murdered?
Shot.
She was shot. Wait, someone came into the room with a gun? The painting?
Oh no! The secret!
And someone put a hole in my painting!
So, how did we get Freddie to notice that the gun was fired from that hole?
He can't see us.
And he can't hear us.
We could just move him.
Good idea!
There! I'm back, guys.
I see.
Hello again.
Resume.
How could someone do this to Rachel?
Freddie, what are you doing over there? Get over here and start interrogating the suspects.
I am not a suspect.
Neither am I. In fact, I'm a victim of a Second Amendment violation.
Wait, there's blood over here. It's a trail of blood leading right to the body.
Where's Connie? It's her job to clean it up.
You mean the little maid? She hasn't been here this entire time.
And where's your husband?
I don't know. I haven't seen him in half an hour.
Oh my. The trail of blood. It leads directly to the secret.
That it does.
Okay, you keep talking about the secret. What is the secret?
I guess I should tell you now. Behind this wall is a secret passage.
A secret passage.
Yes, it's sort of a fun little doorway that everyone who stays here eventually finds out about. It leads right to the back of the linen closet in the hallway. That was so perceptive of you to notice the trail of blood.
Yes, it was. I love a highly perceptive man. Ooh la la.
Thanks. Hey, what do you know? There's a note right next to the secret passage. Whoever was inside must have slipped it through the hole right there.
It's written in the same weird orange ink. Rachel had to go, but who shot her? You'll never know.
Again, catchy.
Do you think whoever murdered Rachel is still inside there?
Maybe.
How do we get it open?
You just left the latch back here behind the painting.
How is that possible with the fireplace there?
Oh, it's not a real fireplace. The builder of this house had a great sense of humor and built this false fireplace front just to conceal this door.
Hold it! Well, this is certainly an interesting turn of events. I've seen a lot of things in my days, but nothing as low down and vile as an affair at a family reunion.
Then again, we've never seen a murder at a family reunion, let alone 3. Suzanne certainly looks as if she wants to give her husband a piece of her mind.
Should we let her? Resume.
So this is where you've been? In the linen closet with this floozy?
Drama.
Well, no, not exactly. Well, Connie and I just went in there a few moments ago.
Then where have you been for the past half hour?
Well,
That's
let me.
easy. He was in my room, flirting with me.
Really? Yeah. She had a heck of a time getting him to leave.
Drama.
You're a pig.
Oink.
He was hitting on you? And you too? And what do you have to say for yourself?
I'm sorry?
She's sorry.
Well, Stefan knocked on my door a little while ago, asking if he could come in. I told him to get lost. I don't fool around with married men.
Oh, wow.
I don't.
What do you have to say for yourself, Stefan?
What can I say? I only wanted a little female attention.
Stefan never hit on me.
I hope I never get that desperate.
Oh my goodness! Carla Joe, look, it's our rifle.
Someone must have stolen it from the cabinet and put it there in that there passage.
Not to get in the middle of this whole love triangle or heptagon, but does no one else find it suspicious that Stefan and the maid were found in the secret passage with a rifle, what with the trail of blood leading right from it and all?
Trail of blood. Ugh.
Rachel. Yeah, Rachel. Remember Rachel? Yeah. She's been murdered. She was shot by someone in the passage.
Oh dear, we only went in there a few moments ago.
A likely story.
No, it's true. I was just leaving Carla Joe and Ron May's room. When I found Connie and asked if I could speak with her.
He told me he needed my help to rehearse a scene.
In a linen closet?
He told me he wanted to go where no one would bother us.
You mean where no one would find you. Well, guess what? We found you, you two-time
Well, okay. Let's all calm down. That still doesn't explain how you two could possibly be in the secret passage without seeing who else was in there.
We were in the hallway when the lights went off. We heard a loud bang but couldn't see 2 inches in front of our face. Someone brushed past us as we were entering into the secret passage, but it was too dark to tell who it was.
You know, I did find it kind of strange that there was someone else in the linen closet.
It was odd.
You two heard a gunshot and still felt the need to continue your little rendezvous?
Yes. Stefan is a dog who won't even stop for murder.
I didn't know there was a gunshot. There has been a racket in this place all night. I thought that loud bang was just another crack of thunder.
Then who was leaving the secret passage as you entered? Someone is not telling the truth.
That sounds like an easy accomplishment for an actor.
Or an actress.
Or anyone. Clearly, someone here is pretending to be who he or she is not. Stefan and I aren't the only ones with acting ability.
We're not accomplishing anything by blaming each other. Most of us entered this room through the hallway after we heard the gunshot. Did anyone see anything?
How could we? It was pitch black.
Then it could have been anyone.
So, 3 murders and 17 suspects?
Oh dear, I'm scared.
I don't feel safe anymore.
You're the one holding the gun. You should feel safer than the rest of us.
What does she want?
Good thinking, Molly. Maybe the rifle should stay in the cabinet locked up. If it's locked up, we'll all feel more at ease.
I'm not so sure. Aunt Gretchen and Aunt Rebecca were murdered with knives.
We sure were. And besides, someone already used the key to get the gun out. Who says it won't happen again?
Good point. Maybe we should leave the evidence in the hands of the detective.
No. Any idea what we should do? Anybody?
You're the one playing detective.
Oh yeah. Then I think you should all return to your rooms and lock your doors.
But they're hungry. Again.
I'll continue cooking then.
Wait, it's not a good idea for you to go by yourself.
I guess I'll stay with her.
All right then. Connie and Beatrice can work in the kitchen. Everyone else, return to your rooms and wait until supper is ready. Me and Christine will stay out here and look for clues.
Oh, Freddie, I love it when you get authoritative.
What about Rachel? We just can't leave her sitting here.
We'll take care of that.
Oh, hold it!
We better get back to the freezer before Carla Joe and Rhonda May notice we're missing.
That would be quite a shock.
Resume.
So, where are you going to look for clues?
I have no idea.
I know. Whoever was in the passage had to know it existed in the first place, right?
Well, who here would know about the secret passage?
Well, those of us who work here know about it, and because the tunnel's used in the evening games of hide and seek, anyone who stayed here before would know about it too.
Hide and seek? What kind of bed and breakfast is this? Don't most places just set up some board games for the guests?
What can I say? Gretchen and Rebecca like to shake things up a little bit.
I loved those games of hide and seek.
Beatrice, which guests have stayed here before?
Well, Lola comes here every year. Suzanne and Stefan have been here a couple of times. Robert and Rachel come pretty regularly. The only guests I've never seen before are Neil, the Mimes, and that man dressed as a Night Crusader. Oh, and the Michael sisters, Joel, and you, Freddie.
So about half the guests are here for the first time.
I suppose so, but I've been working here a long time. I could have easily forgotten a face over the years.
So, in other words, anyone is still a suspect.
I'm afraid so. Well, the chicken should be ready to come out of the oven pretty soon. If I don't hurry up with this meal, I'll have some hungry mimes ready to murder me.
Hopefully, they'll only pantomime murdering you.
Stupid.
Freddie?
Neil, you're supposed to stay locked in your room. It's potentially dangerous out here.
I wanted to let you know that something's been stolen from my room.
Oh, not another theft. First a knife, then a knitting needle, then a rifle, and now what?
My laptop. I went to take it out of the case just now, and it's gone. The case is empty.
So, it wasn't missing until you got back?
Well, I'm not sure. I haven't used it since I arrived.
You know what that means?
What?
That it could have been stolen hours ago. Any of the guests could have it right now.
Good point. Thanks for letting us know, Neil. Now, go back to your room and lock your door. We'll be on the lookout for a missing laptop.
Thanks.
Body's in the freezer. Any other lifting you need us to do?
I think that will be all, Ronza May. You two should get back to your room.
Well, this has been quite an evening. This isn't the calm and quiet bed and breakfast I was led to believe it was.
Yes, these murders have certainly put a little stress on our honeymoon, haven't they? What in the world?
Did the storm knock the power out again?
Oh dear, Mr. and Mrs. Franklin, are the two of you still in here?
We're here, Connie.
Beatrice heard a fuse pop. The circuit breaker is in the mudroom right off of the kitchen. She's fixing it now.
Doesn't the electrical guy come and do checks every now and then? Like, come on.
I mean, Beatrice has been working here for 20 years. She's fairly experienced. There we go.
I fixed the fuse. Someone must have overloaded one of the circuits or something. Connie, can you help me come set the table for dinner?
Yes, Beatrice.
Stupid.
What is it?
It's Stefan! He's in the bathtub!
What's so odd about that?
He's not moving!
What just happened? What kind of establishment has the power going on and off all evening? This is certainly going to affect my review. Is everything all right?
I don't know. Something may have happened to Stefan.
Oh.
Well, I think we found Neil's missing laptop. It was in the bathtub with Stefan. Must have fallen in the water.
Is Stefan all right?
He's dead. When the blacktop was plugged in the wall right next to the bathtub. When it hit the water, a fuse must have blown, and it caused a blackout. Stefan was electrocuted.
I don't understand. Stefan didn't even bring a laptop.
Neil just told us that his laptop had gone missing. Whoever stole it must have thrown it into the bathtub, knowing it would electrocute Stefan. Suzanne, tell us exactly what happened.
Well, darling, we were sent back up to our rooms. Stefan told me he was going to go take a bath. Bubble baths tend to relieve his tension. I told him I didn't care what he did. I just didn't want to look at his lying, cheating face. Then I decided to give myself a facial. My face was feeling a little dry. Healthy skin is essential for actors, you see. Anyways, I was applying the facial and I put the cucumbers on my eyes. Then I laid down on the bed. All of a sudden, I heard a sizzle and a pop, and when I took the cucumbers off, the lights were out. I went to go see what was wrong, and someone brushed by me.
Did you see who it was?
No, darling, it was far too dark. I called out for Stefan, but I didn't hear an answer. Then the lights came on, and I saw why.
We found this near the bathtub with Stefan. It's in that same creepy ink. My bad.
It's okay.
Oh, dear.
Has there ever been someone who made you so mad that the thought of him murdered would make you feel glad? I know that you think what I did was quite bad, and maybe it was, but I'm not feeling sad.
Oh, I can't believe my darling Stefan is gone.
Who could have done this?
Don't look at me. I can't even figure out who murdered Aunt Gretchen, Aunt Rebecca, and Rachel.
Hold it! Rachel, let me introduce you to my new friends. They're helping me solve my murder. Well, our murders.
Based upon the looks on everyone's faces, it seems as if there's been another murder.
Has there been another murder?
Wait, who?
Oh no! Not Stefan!
Stefan?
Who is doing this?
Who is murdering random guests at our bed and breakfast?
Aunt Rebecca, what if it's not random? Think about it. You both were murdered, and I was murdered, and Stefan was murdered. Don't you see the connection?
We're all related. Whoever's doing this must be targeting our family. We have to let Freddie know.
Don't be silly. We're dead. He can't see us or hear us.
Oh, Rachel, I've already helped that beetle brain. Do you really think he can do this all by himself? I have an idea. What do you think?
Oh, good idea.
There we go.
Resume.
Who could have murdered Stefan? Freddie? What are you doing with the registry book?
I have no idea.
Wait, look at this. Rachel's last name, Shanklin, is circled. And Stefan's last name, Livingston, is circled as well. And the Wilcox and Wilcox's Eastern Shore Bed and Breakfast is circled. Why would someone circle those specific names?
Well, the people with those names have been murdered.
And they're all related. They're all my family. Someone circled those 4 specific names. Freddie, it's a good thing you looked at the registry book. You're such a smart detective.
Sure, thanks.
Gather the others. Supper is ready. Stupid.
Suzanne, Joel, Robert, find the other guests and tell them it's time to eat. I'll announce that there's been another murder at supper.
Hey, you gotta admit, this murderer is some poet.
Oh my goodness. What is his deal?
Oh no, Freddy.
What?
All 4 victims are related to me. What if the murderer is targeting my family? If they are, then I could be next. I'm the only Notting family member left at the family reunion.
Supper was wonderful, Beatrice.
If by wonderful you mean dry and tasteless, then yes, Beatrice, supper was indeed wonderful.
You are really testing my patience, Mr. March. There is only so much one can handle before they snap.
Really? And what are you going to do then?
You don't want to know.
Well, you may not have enjoyed supper, Joel, but the mimes sure thought it was delicious.
You know, I've never seen anyone eat so ferociously.
What can I say? These mimes get hungry.
And it looks like they're wearing half the cake we have for dessert.
Night Crusader, it was very thoughtful of you to grace us with a new costume for supper.
Night Crusader? I'm not the Night Crusader anymore.
He looks like some sort of buffalo guy. Now.
I beg your pardon. I am no buffalo. I am Yak Man. 50% man, 50% yak, 100% destroyer of all that dares to threaten the Himalayans.
I've never heard of him.
Few have, but Yak Man knows you, for Yak Man knows all.
Say, kid, where do you get your costumes made?
They're not costumes. They're uniforms. And I'll make them myself.
Very nice. You know, the mimes here could use something new to wear. Would you be interested in possibly giving mime costuming a shot?
I don't see why not. They might look nice in some heather gray terry cloth leotards. I have some fabric swatches in my bag if you'd like to see.
Sure thing.
Oh, wait. Freddie, is it a good idea to let Neil go to the Night Crusader, Yak Man's room?
We're only gonna be looking at some fabric.
I guess it would be safer if we returned to our own rooms.
Well, sure, there's nothing I'd rather do than spend some more time in my cramped little room.
All right, then. Come on, kids.
And don't forget to lock your doors.
Mr. Franklin, I really should get to cleaning up the kitchen.
Connie, do you mind going with Beatrice? If we have to be out of our rooms, I'd rather us stay in Paris.
Yes, Mr. Franklin.
Freddie, may I talk to you for a minute over here?
I guess so.
I still have not been able to locate the whereabouts of my missing knitting needle. Is there anyone here staying that strikes you as a needle thief?
Lily.
It's Lola, sweetie.
Lola, then. How can you be concerned about knitting right now? 4 people have been murdered.
I am not concerned about knitting. I'm concerned about the needle. Think about it. Knives were stolen in the kitchen and ended up in the Wilcox sisters' backs. Then, the Michael sisters' gun was stolen from the cabinet and was used to murder Rachel. And a little bit before supper, Neil's missing laptop ended up in Stefan's bathtub.
What does this have to do with the needle?
I think that the murderer might use my knitting needle to murder his or her next victim.
A knitting needle through the throat could certainly cause some damage.
Wait, so you think a missing needle is a clue?
It could be.
Thanks for letting me know. Now, why don't you go back to your room? I'm starting to get a massive headache.
Yes. Why don't you go back to your room?
Okay, fine. But be on the lookout for my needle, would you?
Ow! Lola brings up a good point.
I hate to admit it, but she's right. Her missing knitting needle could very well be the next murder weapon if we can't solve this.
Do you really think a murderer will come after you next?
It makes sense, doesn't it? All 4 people that have been murdered are family. If the murderer is targeting a family, what better way to do it than at a family reunion?
On that note, we shouldn't let the other guests know that we found a connection between the victims. From now on, we'll keep the clues to ourselves.
Oh, you're talking more and more like a real detective every minute. I could just give you kisses all over. So, what are we going to do now?
I don't know. I'll think of something. I won't let anything happen to you. I hate to see my wife impaled with a knitting needle. I mean, what would that make you? A Shishka ride?
Mr. Franklin, stop everything. We found the murderer.
Let go of me!
Hold the scoundrel down.
Get off me!
What's going on?
Look at what we found in this Yankee Yak's suitcase.
They look like all sorts of weapons.
What's the meaning of this yak man?
Get her off me, and I can explain.
Rhonda May. Oh my goodness.
So, why do you have a suitcase full of weapons?
Now this is a sonic blaster. And this is a deadly destroyer. They're harmless.
How can they be harmless?
They're just props to go along with my uniforms. Look.
The pain! It hurts! Whew, I guess they really are harmless.
I told you. Why would I bring real weapons to a relaxing stay at a bed and breakfast? I'm no murderer.
Well, how were we supposed to know they were fake? They look pretty real to me.
Where did you find these prop weapons anyway?
These 2 creatures snuck into my room just now. That one sat on me. Well, that one started going through my bag.
And why would you do that?
Well, you don't just expect us to let a murderer run around this place, do you?
Yeah, we thought we'd take matters into our own hands and try and catch him ourselves.
Who knows what kind of evidence we could find if we search all the rooms.
Wait, how did you get into Yak Man's room anyway? I told everyone to lock their doors.
Well, you see, the door was locked.
What? You think we can't get into a locked door?
Yak Man's room was the first one we busted into. And sure enough, we found weapons.
Prop weapons?
Fine, you little buffalo wing. You win this time.
You know, Carla Joe, it's a shame them weapons is fake. Those crazy things look like they could blast any muskrat we come across into bits.
Maybe we'll find some real evidence in the next room we search.
You know, I think it's best if we return to your room. Your own room.
I don't think any of the other guests would appreciate you looking through their belongings.
They most certainly would not. Could you get your hands off my uniforms? They took me a long time to make.
Say, what's this plastic wrap for?
That's in case one of my uniforms needs an invisible cloak.
Sure. Okay. Ugh. Good
Jeez,
Lord.
man, how much stuff can you fit in there?
Hurry up, I ain't got all day.
Hair.
Now that we have everything settled, I think you should return to your own rooms and lock your doors. Remember, there is a murderer with real weapons staying here.
Freddy, I need to talk to you.
We have got a problem here, Sherlock.
Wait, Neil, the mimes, how did you get in the kitchen? You didn't come through here.
We went into the kitchen through the dining room. Duh.
Wait, what were the five of you doing in the dining room in the first place? I told you to stay locked in your rooms.
The mimes were hungry and wanted a snack. We went into the dining room to see if we could find any leftovers. But everything was already cleaned up.
We just finished supper.
What can I say? These mimes get hungry.
These five were eavesdropping on us.
We were doing nothing of the sort. We merely walked into the kitchen and overheard a conversation. A very interesting conversation that I think would be very useful to your investigation, Freddy.
Oh dear.
Don't you dare listen to a word that he says.
Beatrice, please. Go on, Neil.
Well, when we were in the dining room, I could hear Connie and Beatrice having a very heated conversation in the kitchen. I put my ear up to the door to see if I could figure out what was going on. That's when I heard Connie tell Beatrice that that Gretchen was the nastiest old woman she had ever worked for.
Well, it's true. This is my first day on the job, and you should have seen how Gretchen treated me.
I only met Mrs. Wilcox for a few moments, but she seemed like one of the sweetest old ladies I've ever come across.
That's just because you were never under her thumb.
As we enter the kitchen, Beatrice said, and I quote, "The old windbag got her just desserts."
Oh dear.
It's true, I said it.
You see, it's clear that one of these two murdered the Wilcox sisters. And probably the others. In fact, Connie and Beatrice may be in on this together.
I am not a murderer.
And neither am I. I would never murder anyone. I was simply venting my frustrations about my employer. I'd like to see what your little minions have to say about you when you're not around.
How do we know Connie and Beatrice are telling the truth?
I have been cooking at Wilcox Eastern Shore Bed and Breakfast for nearly 20 years. If I really hated Gretchen that much, why would I wait this long to kill her?
She has a point.
Maybe tonight you snapped. You did tell Joel there's only so much you can take.
Yeah, well, why were you in the kitchen anyway? Aren't the 5 of you staying in 3 separate rooms? If the mimes were hungry, why did you have to come along?
These mimes don't speak. They need me to help translate their actions into words.
A likely story.
Oh dear.
It does no good to stand here and blame one another. Now, Neil, why don't you take your kids and go back to your room and stay put this time?
And we'll get back to the kitchen. Hopefully no one will be spying on us this time.
Come on, kids.
Come on, Connie. Stupid.
Let's hope that's the last interruption.
Freddy?
What now?
This is urgent. I was in my room trying to get some writing done in peace and quiet. I had to move from the lumpy chair by the bed to the even lumpier chair by the window. It looked softer than the chair by the bed, but looks can be deceiving, let me tell you. I suppose I will have to include that in my review.
Joel? You said this was urgent?
Oh, yes. Anyway, so when I moved to the chair by the window, I noticed I could hear voices coming from Robert's room. His room is right next to mine, you see, and I could hear the voices through the heating vent by the window.
Was Robert talking about the murders?
I can't be sure. I couldn't make out words, only voices.
What's so urgent about that?
Notice I said voices, plural. Robert has someone with him in his room.
Who could that be?
Again, I can't be sure. It sounded like a woman, but we know it can't be his wife.
Why not?
She's in the freezer.
Remember that little incident with the rifle pumpkin?
Oh, right. Interesting observation, Joel. What should I do?
Go and see who Robert has in the room with him, sweetheart.
Good idea.
I don't like this situation, not one bit.
I'm sure there's a logical explanation for why Robert has someone in the room with him.
There's been nothing logical going on here all evening.
Look who I found in Robert's room.
Suzanne?
You wanted to see us, darling?
What were you doing in Robert's room?
Well, I was...
No. It's none of your business what we were doing in my room.
You were told to stay in your own room, Suzanne. And Robert, you shouldn't have let her in there.
Do you realize how suspicious this looks?
What's suspicious about this? Robert and I were only having a discussion, darling.
You don't think there's anything suspicious about 2 people whose spouses have just been murdered getting together for a secret conversation?
No.
I'll bet that a murderous plan was in the works.
That sounds like an accusation.
It is an accusation.
How dare you accuse me of murder?
You wouldn't be accused of anything if you just stayed in your rooms like you were told to.
Doesn't anyone follow directions anymore?
Lola, what are you doing with that 2x4?
Oh, Freddie, I am so sorry to startle you. I am here on business.
Business?
Yes. Well, I had nothing to do on the account of my missing needle, and then it struck me like lightning. I should help you catch the murderer. I will be your assistant.
Freddie already has an assistant.
Huh? Who?
Me.
The girl is carrying a giant board.
Oh, yes, of course. You don't think I'm gonna let some murderer come close to me and murder with my own knitting needle, do you?
It wouldn't bother me.
You were just too funny, darling.
No. I'd whack that murderer right in the head before he even gets close.
That's it! We can't have people in and out of their rooms like this. Someone is going to get hurt.
Or murdered.
Suzanne, Robert, why don't you two gather all the other guests and bring them in here? We need to have a bed and breakfast meeting. Now!
Goodness gracious.
Hold it!
Oh.
Stefan, I don't think you've met our friends yet. They're helping us help Freddie.
Well, hello, everyone. It is good to be back.
We need to figure out who the murderer is before anyone else is, well, murdered. It's getting awfully crowded in the freezer with the 4 of us. I cannot imagine trying to squeeze another body in there.
So, what are they doing now?
Meeting.
A meeting? About what?
Did you do that?
Who do that? I wonder what they're going to talk about. Let's see, shall we?
Shall. Oh, my seat.
What am I gonna do with him? Resume.
Hello.
Connie, Beatrice, would you mind coming out here for a second, please?
Freddie, what is the meaning of this? A bed and breakfast meeting?
Take a seat, Neil.
I haven't been in any more rooms. I swear it.
Thank you. I called you all down here to discuss something important. After supper, you were all told to return to your own rooms and lock your doors. And none of you listened.
Well, some of us were dragged out here against our will.
Well, some of us thought we had reason to drag others out here against their will.
I know you all have your reasons, but you have to realize something. There have been 4 people murdered tonight, and we don't know if the murder will strike again.
And the murderer is someone in this room. Not me.
If you ask me, I think it's Connie or Beatrice, or maybe even both. I overheard them talking in the kitchen and...
Yes, we know, in the kitchen. Some of you suspect each other, and for good reason. I think the best thing to do would be to air out all of our suspicions. Who knows, it may help Freddie get closer to discovering who the murderer is.
Yes, that's a very good idea.
Then can I start?
You may have the floor, Joel.
Well, as I told Freddie and Christine, I was in my room a few minutes ago when I heard Suzanne and Robert having a discussion in Robert's room.
There's nothing suspicious about 2 people having a conversation.
You were found together when you had been told to stay in your separate rooms.
That sounds mighty suspicious to me. Did anyone think that maybe these 2 were in on the murders together? Isn't it funny that just after your husband was found fiddling with another woman, he winds up dead?
If you really want to know the truth, Stefan and I weren't even a couple anymore.
Is she telling the truth?
I'm afraid so.
Don't look so shocked, everyone. Stefan and I were married for business purposes only. We needed each other for our careers to survive. I wasn't really angry when I found him with Connie. He was only my husband. You think I loved him?
Yes.
He loves me not.
You seemed mighty angry to me.
It's called acting. I found Stefan with plenty of women over the years, and he's found me with plenty of men. Our marriage was purely for show. Sure, it began with love and affection, but that was gone a long time ago. By the time the marriage crumbled, we'd already established ourselves as a husband and wife acting duo. You can't very well keep the slogan, partners on stage and off, if audiences don't really believe you're a couple.
So why were you in Robert's room? Are you with Robert now?
No. Are you forgetting that this is a family reunion? Christine is my cousin.
Christine?
That's my wife. Are you kidding?
Suzanne is my cousin. Well, wait, no. She's my wife's cousin's wife. So I guess that makes us cousins-in-law?
Anyways, I was in Robert's room consoling him. His wife had just been murdered after all.
That sounds as fishy as a 2-ton pile of crab cakes.
Well, that may be, but it's the truth, Miss Crab Cakes.
If the two of you are having an affair, you both would be free of a lot of burdens if your spouses were both out of the way.
We aren't having an affair. And even if we were, why would we want Aunt Gretchen and Aunt Rebecca dead?
If anyone wanted the Wilcox sisters dead, it was those two. I overheard them talking in the kitchen. They said the old ladies deserved to get murdered.
Oh, really now?
Well, I had nothing against Rebecca. I simply said that Gretchen got what she deserved. And even though I may have said that, I don't remember saying that I was the one who gave it to her.
That's right.
It is perfectly possible to dislike a woman without murdering her.
That's right.
I may have spit in her morning coffee a couple of times, but that is the end of it.
That's right.
Ew! I knew you were up to something, Miss Gugelheimer.
Oh, maybe after years and years of considering murder, Beatrice finally decided it was time to get rid of Gretchen Wilcox once and for all.
If I disliked her that much, why wouldn't I just find another place to work? The old bag might not have been my favorite person, but I'm not one to murder.
And why would we murder both Dr. Shanklin and Mr. Livingston? Neither of us had a problem with either of them.
Joel had a problem with Stefan. His reviews of Stefan in Theater Monthly were downright horrible.
They certainly were. Wouldn't that make Stefan want to murder me as opposed to making me want to murder Stefan?
Not necessarily. Why don't you tell everyone why you are no longer a theater critic?
I wanted a career change. Critiquing hotels sounded more appealing.
Are you forgetting that we also work in the entertainment industry, Joel? We hear the gossip. The real reason your career ended as a theater critic is because you, wait for it, were, one more time, fired.
That is good.
Tossed out on your behind without even a see you later. Too many of the plays you were ripping apart in your columns went on to become great hits. Your opinion in the theater community was no longer valued.
Well, I don't see what that has to do with anything.
Maybe you wanted revenge from being let go with your job with Theater Monthly. Maybe you secretly blamed the success of actors like Stefan for your failure.
Then why wouldn't I murder Suzanne as well? And why on earth would I murder Gretchen, Rebecca, and Rachel? If you ask me, it's the 5 of you that look suspicious here. You've been running around this place all evening.
The mimes have been looking for food.
How much food can mimes eat anyway?
I know, you're eating
I don't believe that person. You all have been in and out of the kitchen with access to knives, and who knows where else you've been wandering when no one else was paying attention. Perhaps by the cabinet to steal the gun. You were spying on Connie and I in the kitchen. Who's to say you weren't spying on any of the other guests as well, waiting for the perfect opportunity to commit murder?
And what was our motive?
Give me a minute or two. I'll come up with something good.
Sure.
Well, if you think sneaking around is suspicious, you should talk to those two. They came barging in my room a few minutes ago and attacked me. Then they started going through my suitcase. If you ask me, it sounds like a good way to find a murder weapon. They could have easily been snooping in other people's rooms.
We weren't snooping to steal. We were snooping to protect.
So you claim.
Why would we want to commit murder? That's easy. One of you murdered the Wilcox sisters as revenge for locking up your gun.
Do you really think that we would stoop so low as to murder someone over something like that?
You were pretty upset that your right to bear arms had been violated. But you were quite upset about something too, Lola.
That's right. Rachel was wearing a pigskin, and that made you angrier than a bull.
I don't believe in hurting any living creatures, including humans. Even those who wear animal skin.
Well, then for all pointing fingers, then nobody has mentioned that Yak Man over here is looking very suspicious.
How do I look suspicious?
How does he not? You read a variety of comics. You must know an awful lot about how to murder someone.
Only if the murder is from supersonic force or techno laser beams. I don't know nothing about knives, guns, or electricity.
You seem like the perfect murder suspect to me. You wear a variety of costumes.
Uniforms.
Maybe you want to be the ultimate villain. A murderer could very well be hiding underneath all of those uniforms. We don't even know your real name.
Get it out. Come on.
You have vocal cords.
Darling, come on.
Neither do I.
What?
I've been living as different comic book characters for so long that I don't remember who I really am. I think my name used to be Jacobs. Something Jacobs.
You can't honestly expect us to believe that you don't remember your own name.
Well, if you're gonna point a finger at me just 'cause no one else has, then why not also point a finger at the two who haven't been accused yet? Freddie and Christine.
Us?
How come you two get to run the show while the rest of us sit around accusing one another?
Good point.
How could it be us? And why would it be us?
It is rather suspicious that the two of you keep insisting that we stay in our rooms, all the while you have free reign of the rest of the bed and breakfast.
But I would never. And Fuzzy Wuzzy Freddy is too sweet to hurt a fly.
This is ridiculous. When Aunt Gretchen, Aunt Rebecca, Rachel, and Stefan were murdered, me and Christine were in this room.
That's true. They were in here when Aunt Gretchen and Aunt Rebecca were murdered, so it couldn't possibly have been them.
And they were out here when Rachel was shot, so it couldn't have been them who brushed past Stefan and Connie in the linen closet.
Fred and Christine were also in this room when the fuse popped. That means they didn't murder Stefan either.
See, it couldn't be us, but it could have been any of you. Some of you have the motive to murder, and some of you have the opportunity. Freddie, what you need to do is figure out who had both the motive and the opportunity.
But I don't even know how to do that.
Hold it.
Oh dear.
This guy needs our help.
What are we going to do?
Wait a minute. Well, in all of the murder mysteries that I have been in, there has always been a scene where the detective questions the suspects.
But this bonehead doesn't have a clue what he's doing. He wouldn't even know what questions to ask.
Maybe we can help him.
Good idea. It's almost like a game. And you know how we love our games.
I think I have a notebook around here somewhere.
And we can get you folks to come up with some questions that we think Freddy should ask the suspects.
Wait, you mean we're gonna meddle beyond the grave?
We've been doing it all night.
It's fun. I can jot down the questions. I'm used to writing quickly from taking notes in the field.
Well, what do you want me to do?
Stefan, you just stand here and look pretty like you always do.
Okay.
We'll handle these folks.
All right. If any of y'all have a question that you would like Freddy to ask one of the suspects, please raise your hand. Anyone at all? Yes, ma'am.
Where were you?
Where was who? Any of you? Well, we need a specific person. Beatrice? Beatrice. Where was Beatrice when we were murdered? All right, another one. Anyone over here have a question? Over here? Yes.
Ask Minnie where she was during Stefan's.
Minnie?
Yeah.
Okay. Where was Minnie during Stefan's murder? All right, last question.
Ask Joel if he also writes poetry.
Ooh. I never thought of that. Joel writes and reads poetry.
Okay, I think we have enough questions for now. Thank you.
Well, how are we gonna get Freddy to ask those questions?
That's easy. There we go. There we go.
Resume.
What is this?
They look like interrogation questions. Oh, did you come up with these all by yourself?
Well,
You said you don't know what to do, but you know exactly what to do, my little Sherlock Holmes.
What can I say? All right. Where was Beatrice when Gretchen and Rebecca were murdered?
In the kitchen.
Obviously with access to knives.
Well,
That is true. You did come in late.
Interesting. Hey, Neil, you're also gone with your laptop.
That doesn't mean that I took it. Why would I come out about it being stolen?
So that way you could remove the blame.
yeah, you would look suspicious.
Next question. Where was Minnie when Stefan died?
Minnie was in her room.
How do you know that? You're not.
You're not in their room.
You have separate rooms.
We could have been out hunting food. So how
In
did you
fact,
know
it could have been any of the mimes. They all have their separate rooms.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. I fixed it. Yep. That's me. Next question.
Let's not forget that it could also be Connie because she was probably in the kitchen too.
Shifting the blame. Like she's supposed to be.
All right, next.
Yeah.
Joel is a writer, so couldn't he write poetry pretty fluently?
Now, what's in my journal is of no importance to you.
I highly doubt to see why it's no importance when we're interrogating you.
You just don't want anyone to see your love letters.
I like nature.
secret poet over here.
Obviously, Joel is too stupid for this. Let's move on.
Oh.
Well, that's all the questions I have.
Do you have any idea who the murderer is?
Not a clue.
Ugh. Who's the dumb one now?
Are you sure this is going to work?
Do you have a better idea?
I just don't want anything to happen to you.
Don't worry, I'll be fine. Think about it. If I'm being targeted for murder, the best thing to do is to leave me alone as bait.
But suppose the murderer really does try to attack you.
I'll be fine. If you go back to our room, the murderer will know I'm out here alone and come after me.
The only problem is that you will be out here. Alone. No one will be here to protect you.
I can protect myself. When you get into the hallway, make sure everyone knows that you're going to bed and that I'm in here all by myself.
All right. Bye. Well, good night, dear. I'll be sleeping in our room if you need me.
Sweet dreams, Sugar Bear. Now I guess I just need to wait.
Oh, hello, Christine. I didn't realize anyone else was still awake.
Joel, what are you doing out of your room?
Oh, I just wanted to stretch my legs.
Freddy's gonna be awfully upset if he catches you out here.
I'll take my chances.
Joel? Is that a knife in your pocket?
Of course not.
Oh.
It's a meat cleaver.
Why on earth are you carrying around a meat cleaver?
Why do you think?
Oh, please don't hurt me, Joel! Stop! Help!
No, I can explain.
Don't come near me! Don't you dare!
Christine, listen to me.
I won't listen to anything you say. Now get away from me! Just get away!
Christine! What in the world is going on here? Please don't hurt us!
I'm not going to hurt anyone.
Take Connie. She's young and fresh. She doesn't even have a brain. She probably can't even feel pain.
Oh dear!
Stop. This is just for self-defense. You think I'm gonna walk around here alone without some way to protect myself? You might try to hurt me.
Oh, that's ridiculous. How on earth could I hurt you?
A cleaver! Get him!
Don't you start.
Give me.
Oh!
Oh. Carla Joe, I can't see! I can't see!
Such bedlam!
Quick, take cover behind the desk!
Ronson May can't see what she's doing!
Kids, get some water!
What?
No, Ichi, don't hurt her!
Oh
What in the world?
Why
Sounds
is
like
everyone
the storm
yelling?
moved inside.
It was all just a big misunderstanding. accidentally frightened Christine, and then Beatrice and Connie came running in, and...
I guess everyone came to see what all the noise was, and it caused a big commotion.
What?
Which comic book character are you supposed to be now, Mr. Jacobs?
Clearly, I'm Princess Gracie Gumdrop.
God help us.
Come on! Princess and Erda thrown in the land of Sugartown?
No, sweetheart.
Nope.
Sorry. No.
Not every comic book is about superheroes.
I'm speechless.
That's a first.
Christine, is everything all right out there?
You guys better get back to your rooms. If Freddy sees you out here, he's going to be really mad.
Come on, Gumdrop.
Oh, God. Okay, let's go. Oh, that's bad. Okay.
Connie, Beatrice, what are you doing out here?
We just came to see if Christine wanted a piece of cake.
That cake has seen better days.
Yeah, well, we'll just leave it here in case one of you gets hungry. Come on, Connie, let's go get you a towel from the linen closet. You made such a mess with your midnight snack, stupid.
I know I'm not. Are you all right? I thought for sure with all that noise I'd come out here and see you wrestling with the murderer.
Everything's fine. Connie just had a little accident with her midnight snack. I guess we're no closer to catching the murderer than we were at the start.
I think we should take our own advice. Return to our rooms and wait until morning. By then, the storm should be over.
I suppose you're right. We amateurs will never figure out who's murdering the family and writing those creepy poems.
The poems. That's it. That's it! I know who the murderer is.
You do?
I can't believe I didn't realize this sooner.
Well, who is it?
I'll tell you in a minute. For now, we need to get everyone in here. We won't tell them I've discovered the murderer yet. We just say I need to ask a few more questions.
Do you think Freddy really knows who murdered us?
It sure sounds like he does. This is most exciting.
I'll say. Good thing I've already prepared popcorn for tomorrow's movie night.
Where's the best seat in the house, Aunt Rebecca? I want to be able to see the action.
Let's sit out there with our friends. They always have a nice view.
Oh.
Oh, this is good popcorn.
Who do you think murdered us? Oh, that is a very good option. What about you?
Will you shut your yapper? Sit down. I don't want to miss a minute of this. This is more exciting than anything on daytime television. Popcorn, ma'am?
Sorry, Aunt Gretchen.
It is awfully late, Mr. Franklin. I need my beauty sleep.
You certainly do.
Keep your trap shut. One more nasty remark about my sister, and it's the last nasty remark you'll ever make.
What are you gonna do? Murder him?
Enough, everyone. We've had nothing but threats and accusations all evening, and it hasn't solved a thing.
I don't see what good any more questioning will do.
You know, instead of asking questions, I would like for us to role play.
What's role play?
It's like acting.
Now there's something I'm good at.
In your opinion?
You know, I'm just gonna act like I didn't hear you say that. How can I help, darling?
I'm afraid I won't need your assistance for this, Suzanne. For this time, I would like to use our mime friends, to help us act out each murder.
Just a minute. As manager for the mimes, I would like to know what compensation they'll be receiving for this performance.
Isn't it compensation enough knowing that they could help catch a murderer and that it could save your life? Seriously?
Sounds good to me. They're all yours.
For this first role play, I would like Mandy and Minnie to act as the aunts. Pretend you're walking down a hallway, just minding your own business. Millie, you'll play the murderer.
Wonderful performance.
I will admit, even I was pleasantly surprised.
The subtle nuances were just magnificent.
What?
Now it's time for the second role play. This time, I want Molly to be the murderer, and Mandy will play Rachel.
Bam! Oh, wow.
That was even better than the first role play.
I agree. But I just don't see how this is helping.
Perhaps another role play will spark something new. This time, I want Molly to play the murderer again, and Minnie will play Stefan in the bathroom.
Fascinating. I could not have done it better myself.
Oh no!
What a shocking performance.
That's it. Don't forget to write the note. Good. Now I want Molly to play the murderer again. And I would like Millie to play, wait for it, Christine.
Sweetie pie, that...
Oh dear.
How did she...
A rope. Very interesting. So Molly, is that how you plan to murder Christine? Don't play innocent here. It was you who murdered Aunt Gretchen, Aunt Rebecca, Rachel, and Stefan.
You have no proof.
Hey, mimes are supposed to be seen and not heard. It's in your contract.
Save it. I'm being accused of murder here.
It all makes sense. Who would suspect a mime of murder? You look harmless enough, and you certainly never made any verbal threats.
Then how do you know Molly is the murderer?
The poems.
Please don't tell me you're some type of handwriting analyst.
No, but I'm not colorblind. You see, each poem was written in a very distinct orange ink. The same orange ink that's on Molly's gloves.
That's just cake frosting. You said so yourself.
You see, that's what I originally thought. But then I realized there's no orange frosting on the cake. So the orange stain on your glove must have come from a felt tip pen. The same felt tip pen used to write each of the poems.
You're not as dumb as you look, friend.
Thank you so much.
Now we just have one tiny little problem.
Oh.
You're all going to have to die now.
Why? What did we do?
You know too much. Do you think I can let any of you live knowing I'm responsible for...
I'm too beautiful.
Deaths?
But if you kill all of us, you'll be responsible for even more deaths.
And who's going to tell on me?
She brings up a good point.
Save it, Suzanne.
Why did you murder Aunt Gretchen and Aunt Rebecca?
And Rachel.
And Stefan!
That's one piece of the puzzle I haven't been able to figure out yet.
Maybe this will help you.
Oh, she's getting close.
Do you recognize me?
No.
That's exactly the problem. I'm your cousin, Molly.
Another relative?
Cousin Molly. You mean Aunt Henrietta's daughter? I didn't know you were in show business.
You didn't know me at all. Nobody took the time to get to know me.
Many years ago, back when I was only 4 or 5, Aunt Henrietta had a falling out with her sisters. No one has spoken to or about Aunt Henrietta, or her husband, or her daughter since. I haven't seen you since you were a little girl. How have you been?
Not bad. Yourself?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you.
You don't know, do you, how lonely a life is when you've been shunned by your entire family, the people that are supposed to love and care for you? When I heard there was a family reunion being planned, I waited for weeks and weeks and weeks for an invitation. And guess what? I never received one. Not a single one. I knew I had to crash the party. I decided it was time to get revenge on the very people who made my life feel so rotten for all those lonely years.
So it's true. You were planning to murder me next.
Yes, and in fact, how about I do that right now?
Isn't there some way we can work this out? Haven't you ever heard of the win-win guidelines?
It's too late for that.
Somebody do something!
Stand back, everyone.
I always knew that you were one crazy Yankee. But volunteering to be the first one murdered? Yeah.
Listen, princess. Put that toy gun down. This isn't a comic book. This is real life.
Does the gun even work?
No, it's just a prop I purchased at a comic book convention. But I can still defeat you with it.
Oh, really?
And how do you plan on doing that?
Well, like this.
Well, that seemed easy enough.
I can't believe my life was just saved by Princess Gracie Gumdrop.
Are you all right?
I'm fine.
Oh dear, what should we do with Molly?
Tie her up and put her in the kitchen. We'll stick a Michael sisters at each entrance to make sure she does not escape.
That sounds like a good plan to me. Let's get to it, sister.
There's some rope in the mudroom if you need it.
Good. We'll use that to tie the scoundrel up. We can't thank you enough, Mr. Franklin, for saving our lives.
You're a Yankee, but you're a good Yankee. Just for this, all of the exotic muskrat furs we get on this here peninsula will all be yours.
We'll be giving up a fortune, but it's worth it.
Whoop-de-doo.
The storm seems to be subsiding.
That means it should be over soon. When the ferry arrives in the morning, we'll alert the authorities.
Well, I am just glad this is all over. Shall we finish our conversation, darling?
Sure. And let's hope there's no one listening in this time.
Beatrice, are there any more desserts? I've got some hungry moms here who could eat a house.
Right this way, Neil. Follow me. Stupid.
Can I get anyone else anything?
No. I think we'll be fine, dear.
Good. In that case, I quit. This life as a maid is too stressful. I'm packing my things and leaving on the next ferry. I'm going back to working in neuroscience.
Neuroscience?
I
I told you all she'd never last.
Seriously? You know, of all the lousy hotels, inns, and bed and breakfasts I've stayed at, this one has certainly provided the most interesting experience. Now that's something to mention in a review.
Does that mean we get 5 stars?
I can't thank you enough, Princess Gumdrop. Or Mr. Jacobs, is it? You saved our lives.
Don't thank me, Freddy. You are the one who restored order to our dimension. I am here merely as a guardian. A watchful shepherd looking over the flocks of innocence. Destroying the darkness that dares to cross the path of virtue. You are the one who gives us hope, who gives us faith, who reminds us that while everyone loves to eat sweets, cavities can always be prevented with responsible brushing and flossing.
Well, you know, Mr. Jacobs, I do find a man in uniform to be quite attractive.
Oh, brother.
Really? I've always found knitting to be a fascinating hobby.
Really? Then maybe I can show you a few stitches.
Only if I can show you a few uniforms.
Sounds like a perfect match.
But first of all, I would like to thank you, Freddy, for all that you've done.
You're certainly welcome.
Now, how about a little hugsy? Huh?
Come on, it's one.
Go on.
Yeah!
Hey. Ow! Something poked me. Ow.
Oh, so that's where it was. I thought I lost it. This means I can knit again. Let's go, darling.
You're kidding, right? Well, this has certainly been an interesting start to our honeymoon.
Yeah, look at the wonderful family you married into. Well, what's left of it.
Well, folks, thanks for all of your help.
Freddy couldn't have solved his first murder mystery without you.
Oh, and we just want to say that it has...
Freddy, Christine, get out here! There's the bodies aren't in the freezer anymore! They're
What? Wait a minute. We're the bodies. Oops.
We better get back to the kitchen.
Good idea.
Good night, everyone.
Please join us in congratulating our cast and our crew. All of our wonderful kitchen help, our waiters, our waitresses, and our kitchen people.
And we'd like to also thank our hair and makeup crew, Samantha Raymond and Krista Smith.
Our wonderful stage crew, Kathleen Evans and Cora Layfield.
Our outstanding student director and prompter, Kat Bowles.
Our stage manager, Erin Hudson.
And we'd like to recognize our tech crew and sound crew, Nate Spicer Davis and Josh Smeltzer. And on lights, Jamie Stoltman.
Molly the Mime, Janae Douglas. Neil, Mandy, Billy, and Minnie.
Beatrice and Connie, Lizzie
Lola and Joe. Bringing us Reagan.
Our very own Rhonda, Carla, Joe, Leighton, and Marissa.
Rachel and Robert. Megan and Luke.
Suzanne